Ladies and gentlemen, fans from all over the world, it is Beauty and the Beast podcast with Julian Marquez and Kendra Lust. Check this out, guys. We have been winning a ridiculous amount of money just on these sports bet on UFC fights. We give out plays, we give out picks all the time, and we are bringing home the dollars. And this is one thing we want to let you all know about. Kendra, tell them where we're going to be betting our bets at.
Well, we are absolutely going to be betting at MyBookie. They are bar none the best place to bet. They have everything from UFC, NFL, MLB, presidential nomination debate campaigns, whatever. They have it all. They just revamped their website. It is bar none. And I have a lot of friends who ask me, I want to spend $50, $25. It doesn't matter. It's a fun place to bet. And we have been winning. So we know where it's at. If you sign up to MyBookie, use promo code Beauty and Beast, BEAUTY and AND BEAST. They will match your bet up to, it's 50% up to $1,000. And you will also be able to claim a bonus. So you have to sign up today. You have to use that promo code. And it's time to start making some money. So let's do this, fellas.
Remember that if you put down promo code Beauty and Beast, BEAUTYANDBEAST, they will match dollar for what you deposit on your first deposit. And we also are going to do a little extra on top of it. Kendra and I want to have a live podcast, a live Beauty and the Beast podcast, and we want our fans on here asking us questions and just being a part of this podcast since you guys have helped us grow so much. This is what we're going to do. If you do not have mybookie.ag, if you do not have them, all you have to do is deposit, use our promo code Beauty and Beast, send a screenshot after the deposit goes through, send it to us, and you can be on our live podcast. All you got to do, you can put $10 down, you can put $100 down, you can put $5 down, but remember, mybookie.ag will match whatever you put down dollar for dollar. So if you want to be a part of the live podcast, we're doing it for an entire month. At the end of the month, we will be announcing all the people that are going to be on our live podcast. And that's going to be based on the screenshots of you guys showing us that you deposited money and you are a brand new user to MyBookie. Well, it's going to be fun, right?
It is. It's going to be fun when we're winning. That's the thing. I like to win, and I've had great luck. So I'm
absolutely
excited.
Well, we have a podcast for you right now. It's going to be great. We just talked about our MyBookie stuff, but we have a special guest. This is the first guest on Beauty and the Beast podcast. We have Juan Archuleta, the champion in Bellator, the man, the myth, the legend. Let's pull him up on here. I know he's been dying to hear us. Oh, what's he doing, dog?
Calisthenics?
What are you doing, dog? Oh, that is an arm. I thought you were stretching.
I love it.
Oh,
I legit was like, what is going on? I thought your leg was up in the air.
This is TJ's here.
What up, TJ? How are you? Hey.
He's rubbing him down. How you doing, TJ?
Doing some rehab on the shoulder. We're at the Archuleta Recovery Center right now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. And let me just say, I have a list of things that I have to do. I'm not as healthy as I thought. So you're in the right place. You know it.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone should be doing things like this, right? It makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Looks like you guys got to definitely take care of your body, especially with being a fighter, man. You got to keep that stuff to tip-top shape.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We, he, getting sore and everything, you gotta work out all the lactic acid. So he just had shoulder surgery on both of his shoulders. So yeah, so he wanted to come over and get some recovery.
Yeah.
So that's what my Monday night consisting of.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, that's good. You guys are teammates. You guys are helping each other out, building each other up.
Ahead.
Where are you guys at right now? What is this? Is this like your garage or like a fitness gym?
So I'll show you my garage real quick. So this is my garage. That's TJ doing the techer. But yeah, this is my whole garage set up through quarantine. Kind of had to improvise. So actually, this has been my whole, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've had this for a while. So yeah.
You
So
got
this
a
is what my
sauna in
garage
there?
looked like. Yeah. Well, I cut down to 135, so I have to have it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is it not? That doesn't get too hot in Cali, does it?
Right now it's hot, like I'm sweating a little bit, but it's like it's probably like 78, 80 degrees right now.
Okay. That's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Good. How was your flight home?
Oh, it was good. Yeah. I had it wasn't bad. The red eyes are always nice because the kids go right to sleep, and then
Right.
I'm always out too as soon as I get on the plane. So yeah.
Nice.
Tell us about your guys' weekend, because we were supposed to film the other day, but you guys, I guess, had a lot of fun. I saw some photos of you guys taking shots.
Yeah.
And what's going on? Tell us what's up.
Yeah, our weekend was awesome. We, celebrating, life for one, and then for two, celebrating our world title that we got. So,
So awesome.
and then we watched some killer fights, dude. Both Bellator and UFC had some crazy knockouts, dude.
Speaking of crazy knockouts, dude, how insane was that Juan Buckley, or was it Buckley? That spinning back kick was unreal.
You could see the guy's eyes go in the back of his head. I was watching the replay. It was insane.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, holy smokes, man, this guy. At first I was like, oh man, like he caught his kick and I was like, oh damn, he just knocked him out. Like that was wild. That was crazy shit. Like that shit you see in like a video game, like never in real life.
No, not at all. That's something like he stiff boarded up and then fell backwards, which was insane. Like the moment it happened, I was like, oh, Raymond Daniels would probably throw this kick. And then he like knocked the guy out. And I was like, oh man, whoa. That's insane. Probably the most nastiest knockout I've ever seen ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that stuff you like pretend to do in practice. You're like, oh, that'll be sick to hit in the fight. And then you actually hit it in the fight. You're like, damn, that shit was sick.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I mean, I'll talk a little bit about the weekend because I know Juan, sometimes he's quiet. So we pull it out of him over here at the household.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. We just kind of hung out. Your beautiful wife was gracious enough to cook because I am not a very good cook. So I learned a little bit, and I actually cooked one of those tomahawks tonight and the same way. So it turned out great. Thank you for that. We cooked, we hung out. We just kind of had a little bit of Michigan fun, short but sweet trip. So I actually held the belt and put it around my waist, and it is just more beautiful in person. I can't even imagine how amazing that felt when it was handed to you for the first time. You work so hard for it, and I don't like when people say like, how did it feel? It's probably one of the most incredible feelings, like
it's like an in-between like your kid being born, your birthday, Christmas, New Year's, like your first job, your first check, it's all those experiences in one. And then you just get all the people that worked with you and put so much. I mean, the people that were with me, I spent more time with them than I did with my family the last 4 or 5 years, just training with them. Like they're my family. You work your ass off day in, day out. I mean, Julian could stick up for me when I say that. It's like your training partners and your coaches and everything you have. Like those are the people you spend the most time with. I mean, you spend hours a day with them on and off, and then so to have them there, coaching you through everything and walking you through and seeing the satisfaction on their face is incredible too. It just makes it that much more emotional. Absolutely,
man. That would be insane. That's an insane accomplishment that only few people in the world get to achieve that. And it's like, I mean, you've been at it for a long time. You have a plethora of fights under you, and you fought some of the best people out there. And to finally like you were an underdog, you're a huge underdog. Thanks to Professor X telling me, he's like, you got to put everything on it. I was like, I'm already on it. And huge underdog, you come out with the upset. You finally, like, you're the champ, and it's long overdue. It's insane that you now have that accomplishment. Like everything you've done up until now is just all justified itself. All those late nights away from your family, away from your kids, all that. Like I can only imagine like that feeling you can't replicate, or you can't even explain it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't, man. And that's what it is, day in, day out, and what's crazy is you're like, I want to be a world champ. I want to train to be a world champ, And then you're a world champ and it doesn't even seem real. You're just like, fuck, man, I'm a world champ. This is crazy. Like the only time you get to really let it sink in is when you look at the belt and you're like, oh shit. Like my goal is accomplished. Like, what's next for you? Like some people are left in those questions, but thanks to training with people that are champions before you and people that have coached champions, they tell you, every fight from here on out, it's a new title fight. Like, every fight now you're training for a world championship fight. So every time you win, it's a new title, it's a new camp. So that's the kind of mindset we're going into, after a big fight like that.
Yeah. And I mean, you just have you train with champions, nothing but championship mindset. I mean, so you have it all paved out for you on how to train appropriately. I mean, I saw that you guys brought Kyle Snyder into your strength and conditioning. You already have the Magic Man in strength and conditioning as well. I'm just like, what is going on? You guys are just breeding out success.
Yeah, Sam Calavita, he's probably by far the smartest trainer I've ever met in my life. I mean, I've known him my whole life. And, I was his little guinea pig at first. We did the regional circuit, experimenting, weight cuts, weight gains, like in and out, everything, just different diets, different nutrition tips, different supplementation, everything like that. And we kind of just perfected it. This was like 7 years in the making of perfecting one perfect fight camp. I mean, he's trained me my whole life. But to perfect one fight camp, and I've never felt bigger, stronger, faster, and more agile in my life going into that fight.
Yeah, man, that was Sam has done a lot, man. He has that garage, and I'm afraid of that garage, to be honest. Like, I see all the grinding you guys have on social media and all the crazy stuff he has you going through. And I've talked to a lot of people that have used him, like Jake Ellenberger, Lance Palmer, and they all say that when he puts you through a workout in there, he's making sure you're hitting your fatigue every rep. He's making sure you're getting to your max heart rate and pushing through it. And it shows in your guys' fight. You guys definitely have what it takes. You can see your recovery happening faster, and you guys see you pushing it. It's amazing.
Well, what's crazy too is like when you're training and you start feeling down on yourself, you're like, fuck, I'm gonna skip this round and like try to go through. And you look over, you see TJ next to you, or Cub, or Aaron Pico. They're like grinding through. They're trying to beat you, and you're like, oh hell no, I can't pull back. Like I gotta win this round. It just brings that competition. And then you have Sam right there, like, you're gonna let him beat you like that? You're gonna let him beat you? Like, you better man up. You're like, fuck. The tank is empty, but fuck it, let's go.
You know who's good at doing that at the practice room is Tim Elliott, man. Tim Elliott instigates when he's in the middle of sparring, or you're in the middle of like live rounds, and Tim hits his rounds, and you're in the later rounds. Tim only does 3 when he's not in fight camp. So he's in there 4 and 5, and he's like just buttering you up, making the other person want to go harder, so you turn into an actual fight. So I know. Yeah. Especially you guys' room is very, very – you guys' room is very decorative and very insane, so you can't lose a round in there, or else it'd be talking for a while.
Hurt. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like some of these guys, like they're like, oh, you don't mind Pico training with your fight, the guy you're fighting? I was like, no, man, because you gotta be a sick fuck in order to train with that guy. Just like TJ and Cub Swanson, you got to be on your P's and Q's and ready to scrap when you're in that practice room. Otherwise, you're gonna get hurt. And that's what people don't understand. They're like, man, like you guys are training way too hard. It's like, no, we're training the way we fight. We go out there and we get after it, and we're all in shape in order to take whatever kind of damage that you're getting. You're able to withstand it because you're at a caliber of training, But a guy off the street that's not in shape, he comes in and tries to do a round, you're gonna get fucked up.
Oh, you're gonna get murdered. That would be scary. That'd be a scary room to go into.
Yeah. You don't want to come in out of shape.
I'm gonna ask a serious question, because this is, it's incredible. You're champ, and I have no clue what it takes to get there, obviously. However, I just want to kind of go back a little bit and talk to you, Juan. When you had fought Pitbull, you were on a winning streak at that point. And that was, I don't know, but probably pretty devastating, a loss, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you were able to come back bigger, better, stronger. And, a lot of fighters aren't able mentally to come back from that. So talk to us a little bit about how that affected you mentally and what you did to prepare and, I guess, take the belt home.
yeah, I mean, I knew it was a fluke, the fight, everything going into that fight night. I mean, I felt great. Everything was perfect going to the fight. And then you get to the arena and then like, you're basically having a verbal conversation with the commissioners and things, and so for your fight, so your mind's not even focused on the fight, and I just told myself after the fight, I said that wasn't me. I had to deal with some issues before the fight that I shouldn't have to, because everything was already written down on paper, and things like that. So I said, it's just one of those things. It was my time to lose. Everyone's time comes, and that was my time. It came to an end, my reign of a winning streak. But I knew it wasn't going to stop me from like what I still wanted to accomplish. I knew I was better than that. And, my teammates and my coaches, they reminded me and they instilled that with me. They're like, hey, man, like you fought for a world title. You have that experience now, like a legitimate world title you fought for. So just be happy you had that experience, because it might not come again. You're like, yeah, you're right. Like that was fun. I did have a good camp, and if it happens again, awesome. If it doesn't, at least I had my opportunity, because a guy like Cub Swanson never had his opportunity. And you're just like, all right, just count your blessings and move on and keep training your ass off. Well, I kept training my ass off, won my next fight. And then the perfect opportunity, the perfect storm hit with the COVID and everything for the 135 title. And I said, hey, can I fight for it? And they said, yeah. I was like, all right. There's nothing on time that they got me to detour me. So, I put all my eggs into one basket, financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And, it paid off, because we were dead broke at the end of that fight camp, and dead broke with my body, dead broke with my mental state, so it was good to, after the fight, to rejuvenate myself after that. And but it definitely paid dividends going all in.
That was the greatest bet you've ever put down. Like, that is the best. Putting it all on yourself is the best feeling in the world, and then coming through.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. That fight with Pitbull was an insane fight. But the best part about this, and a lot of young fighters don't really understand, like a loss like that is usually devastating. And I can only imagine. I mean, I've lost before, and it takes it away. But having the right teammates around you and the mindset, I mean, it doesn't define who you are. It's just it's an event, and it wasn't. It wasn't a bad event. It was just an event. And look at you now, man. You're on top of the world. You literally are the champion. You are who you are. You know what I mean? This is meant to be.
Yep. That's absolutely something that nobody can ever take away from you. Once a champ, always a champ. So yes, I have chills. I'm so sappy.
Oh yeah.
But that is just incredible. So,
yeah.
I met you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I don't know, 5 years ago, Juan, and it was just by coincidence that we knew Marlo, and I had worked and I don't know if I was headed to the airport, but I was like, I don't want to sit in Vegas by myself and eat dinner by myself. And Marlo was really cool. And then he says to my friend, do you mind if my friend comes along? And I remember his words, and you just you were still pretty quiet. He said, watch out for this guy. Like, he's champion one day. And I remember coming home telling Professor X about you and how cool that came to fruition. So, wow. It's exciting. I'm so happy for you. You deserve it.
Yeah, I remember we, it was like the beginning of my King of the Cage run. Like I just won, I think, my first title, and it was like, and that's what Marlo was saying, like, hey, we're gonna do it, and it was cool, he spoke it into existence, and not just speaking it into existence, but going out there and actually training to do it is another thing, so that's what was good. Yeah, so we've known each other for my whole MMA career, basically. Awesome. And you've been a huge fan and a huge support, so thank you. Yeah.
Honestly, like people cannot say enough positive things about you. You know, all the people in Bellator, Scott, Jordan. I mean, just everybody who's anybody. You know, has said amazing things about you. So yeah, that's awesome. So I'm grateful to know you. All right, Julian, you're up.
All right. We're going to ask you some questions because we want to get to know the Juan Archuleta. We want to know a little bit outside the fighting realm. And a lot of our fans, we're going to start with a relationship question because a lot of our fans have a lot of them. And you're in you're in an amazing marriage. But the most difficult spot is, like we were talking earlier, is being away from, your family all the time because of training. How is it that you and your wife are able to keep this solid, amazing relationship that you guys have while being gone for so long and taking up a majority of your time for training?
Yeah, so we've been together since high school. And, when I got done with college wrestling, I was like, I'm done, I'm done competing. I'm done coming up short. I'm done, not accomplishing the goals I'm setting out to try to accomplish. And I was like, I'm just going to get a job and support my family, and college was over. My wrestling career was over. And
all the way in Purdue for a Cali boy.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, at Purdue. I know. Cold weather sucked. Came back, I was hurt. First time I got injured. My knees were all torn. No, but I came back. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be an electrician. Just have a 9 to 5, be a regular person. There's nothing wrong with. I'm not complaining it. But I'm just saying to have a family at that time. And then she kept telling me, like, you're a miserable prick, dude. You need to go do something with your life. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, I was like, well, if I coach, it's going to take too much time away. And I told myself I wasn't going to do that. She's like, no, just do something at least. You should fight. And I was like, because then I'll be out traveling. I'll be gone all the time. I don't want that. I've already been gone like most of our relationship. And then she's like, I'm telling you, you'll be a great fighter. And so I was like, all right, fine. If you really want me to fight, I'll start coaching first. So I started coaching wrestling. Coached a couple state champions, and I was like, you know what? I'm starting to get the competition edge back into me. So then I started fighting, and then with them, I was 5-0. I was 3-0 at the time. I won my first Gladiator world title, and then from there on, I started. I was still working, and then I had my first loss at 5-0, so like a year and a half into fighting, and then I was like, okay. I was like, my dad told me, like, you either need to fight full time or work full time. You can't have your foot in both, And I was like, all right, then I'm gonna fight. He's like, oh, you're an idiot. So I was like, all right. So I was like, well, that's what I wanted to do.
Look at me now.
So all right. So then I started fighting, started traveling, went to go train with people like Joe Benavidez, TJ Dillashaw, the Alpha Male Camp. I was training, helping Cub train with Frankie Edgar. Was going up to up to Albuquerque, and things just started taking off, And then another opportunity presented itself where I was able to work on the show Kingdom, and then basically train full time and get paid for it. So that gave me a huge, leap in my career and technical standpoint, because I was training all day in MMA. So and that's how. I became a fighter, and so with our relationship, why I'm bringing that up was my goals were her goals. Like my goals were my family goals. Like they understood. Like I didn't keep my family in the dark, my kids in the dark about like, oh, where's dad at? Or like when I had time to bring them to the gym, I brought them to the gym because they needed. My wife felt like being honest with the kids and showing them that, oh, daddy's training hard. Like don't worry. Like, and they were like, well, we want to see it. And I take them to the gym, and they're like, oh man, like this is next level training. Or I drive them in the car with me. And at this time I was like living 60 miles away from everywhere I was training full time at. And so they would be in the car sitting in traffic with me, like training, go next training session to the next one. I'd leave at 6 a.m. I'll get back to 11 at night. And it was just like, it was hectic, So sometimes bringing my family with me just so I could see them was a blessing, But sometimes like, kissing them on the forehead while they're sleeping and kissing them when they're not even woken up. It was just like, this was my oldest son, so he took the most of it. But and then my daughter was born, and then I was like, all right, had the opportunity to fight for Bellator, and then moved my family down to Orange County, and then from there, it was all our dreams have come true now. And this point was like, again, putting all our eggs into one basket and saying, okay, we're gonna we're going to take a price in $500 a month in rent and start paying $2,500 a month in rent. And you're like, oh man, this is nerve-wracking. I don't know how it's going to get done, but we'll see what happens. I gotta turn my ass off even more. So you start training your ass off more, start winning bigger fights, getting bigger knockouts, training with better people all the time. And, your technique level just goes, skyrockets. Your winning percentage goes skyrockets, your finish rate and everything. So all the, our dreams. And then she started doing my diet because she was a stay-at-home mom. I said, hey, we're starting to make some money. You can stay home. You don't have to work. And she was like, well, I want to invest my time into, being a nutritionist and talking to Sam and, doing your diet, your cooking, everything like that. And so it's literally been a family affair, needless to say.
That's awesome. So you guys just kept communication. You guys pretty much had the same dream. You guys stayed together the whole time and you wanted it all. Like how much more does it mean to have that piece of alloy sitting there around your waist, showing that, everything you've done right there. That's just as much as Mrs. Archuleta's belt as yours.
I can't stop getting chills for him. Like, what the hell? That's amazing.
I know, you're looking at it. I mean, for me, it's not about the belt. It's and I was kind of talking to Kendra about this too. It was like, because she asked, like, what's the best experience you've had with the belt? And the week after my fight, I went to this Apache reservation to do some hunting, and I brought it with me. And I was like, oh, I want these people to see it as well and hold it. And I didn't really realize, like, this guy told me, he's like, man, I'm never going to be able to hold something like this in my life again. Like, this is like a Stanley Cup and like the NBA Finals trophy. This is a NFL, the Super Bowl trophy for fighting, because they're fight fans. And I was like, man, like, I didn't think about that. And they're just holding it, talking to me, and they're like getting so much energy from it and putting so much energy back into it. And you just see their eyes light up and you're like, man, this is what it's about. Like, they're like, I can't believe you brought this out here. And, my response to them was like, well, what's the difference between rust or dust from the fingers and dust from a shelf? I rather people experience. Like, I wanted to like influence people. Like, you can set out to do whatever you want to do in your life. Like, whether it be, be the best. Like, I told my brother, look, you're like one of the best electricians in the world. Like, own up to it. Like, that's your world title. Like, he's doing this new subway in San Francisco, and he's basically doing all the terminations. And I was like, dude, that's your world title. Like, that's what you do to win a world title. Like, it's important. It's on your end that all this shit works and for the subway to work. And if it's set up wrong, like, ultimately it's your fault, so that's a big burden on your chest. He's like, damn, I didn't think about that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same burden I have going into a fight. Like, fuck, I have my family to represent, all the people that I know I have to represent. And they were like, damn, dude, that's right. So seeing that and getting the energy off that is really what winning a title is about. There's responsibilities of being a champ, and if you own up to them and and let people experience it, I think that's the responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot because no matter what you do, if you ever pull that belt out to have someone touch it, they're never going to have a not a positive response. They're always just going to sit there and say great things about it. Like, that thing brings the joy out in everybody, any fan, any, fighter, any training partner. That belt is always going to bring a smile to anyone's face. And to hear stories, man, that's amazing. They compared it to the NBA, MVP or the NBA Finals, trophy or the Stanley Cup. Like, I never even thought of it like that. This is the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That is the trophy. You are the best of the best.
Fans want to know. People want to know when's your next fight? What are your plans? I mean, are you going to obviously I don't know if you're training or you're just helping TJ out, but like, what's next now? Where are we going from here?
Yeah, so we're always training. Like, our camp, we're always in the gym, like beating the hell out of each other, getting the next person ready for their fight, and it's just like but from here, you guys defending, I know there's big talks of the next in line with Sergio after he had that big win over Ricky Bandejas, but it was just like, yeah, it was a good fight and everything, but I think after Ricky lost to me, I took a lot of his momentum going forward, just like we'll see what happens with Patchy Mix going into his next fights. Like, you're not the same person after you lose going into your next fight, and that's huge. yeah, I think Sergio Pettis will be the next in line. That's what they told me, and hopefully it's at the beginning of the year. I was hoping for sooner, but I think they need time to promote it. They need time to put a stamp on the 1-5 division, because it's up a lot right now with a bunch of new signings and December, January, hopefully beginning of the year, looking like the new year. That way I could fight, the winner out of the, God willing I win, fight the winner out of the Risen title out of Asakura and Horiguchi.
Well, that'd be intense.
Yeah.
Look, I'm already excited. You're like promoting it right now, and I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I can see these fights going down. Dude, those would be great. Those would be legendary fights, especially to start the year off.
Oh, yeah.
You get me excited. You get me too excited.
Yeah. I mean, you want to fight the best. And that's why, like, me training my ass off. And, like, it's like sometimes I couldn't get these fights. I couldn't get the Horiguchi fight. I couldn't get all these other fights. And now that I have the title, or now that I have something that people want, like, now they have to fight me. There's no excuse about it, So –
absolutely.
James Gallagher and all these guys, like, they have to fight me now if they want the title.
Yo, you got a target on your back. That's the best thing now. You don't have to look for nobody because they're all looking for you.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger said it best. The lion at the top of the hill is not as hungry as the lion climbing to the top of the hill. So I don't know. I don't know that that's true with you, Juan, because your training is I can't even believe, like, your cardio training is insane, intense. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with Arnold on that one. You're hungry. You're still hungry just because you have the belt.
Well, I was watching the Holyfield documentary about chasing Tyson, and pretty much that's what I feel like I am. There's always I need a big name in order for me to solidify myself. As to stake my claim as a fighter, and like Sergio Pettis, the Horiguchi, the Asakuras, the guys that are just being signed are those names to make me a household name.
Absolutely, man. Look, this is the thing is, like, this has been a long time coming for you to have this belt. I believe that you needed, that you were going to get this belt, a long time ago. And, you just been taking fights like crazy. You went on that 13-fight stint of just destroying everybody. You even fought one of my friends, RIP William Joplin, but you fought him, and you guys were making an exciting fight.
Rest in peace.
Your guys' fights are amazing. Your fighting style is great, and a lot of it just reminds me of TJ. You guys like literally have a similar styles, and you guys push each other in the same way. So like now you're talking about fighting Horiguchi. Now you're talking about fighting Sergio Pettis. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with that style. I don't believe, but it's still going to be a great fight because of the backgrounds that they have that, dude, this is going to be, I'm fucking excited. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, dude. Yeah. Yeah. You think of the matchups and it makes me excited. That's still those matchups. That's what makes you still hungry. We talk about not the lion on top of the mountain is not as hungry. Well, when you're still grinding and trying to make yourself a household name, and knowing that the belt was just a pit stop, and now to actually really be able to support your family or really be able to put food on the table, like, this is how you do it. You find the best that are out there, the one with the biggest hype, which I've always done anyway. You fight those guys, you take their momentum away. Like, Patricio was on a 22-fight winning streak, and originally I did want to fight Pettis. I said, hey, I think that's a better matchup for the fans. And lo and behold, I wasn't taking anything away from Patchy, but he still put on a hell of a fight. Like, the dude almost ended the fight in the first and second round. I just, thank God for, Joe Daddy Stevenson and Felipe Del Monica at Gracie Baja that, poured their heart and soul into me with jiu-jitsu, and even Brian Ortega, who I'm excited for this weekend. They got me, they had me ready for his jiu-jitsu and was able to turn it up.
Yeah, man. That's the best thing is, like, I don't believe that you're at the top of the mountain yet. I believe that you just got on to start climbing it. I believe there's going to be a lot more with your style and your excitement, your personality, who you are, and just, when you're around the success that you're around in wrestling and in MMA, you have so much more to give. Like, I'm not, maybe you go up to 45 and play up there and try to take that belt out. A lot of people are trying to do double champs. I think You know, you go after, if you take Horiguchi, you know, Gallagher, Pettis, you know, you go there, you get a little bit fun, you start moving up. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and that's the best fight. Plus, you got Cubs coming back with his ACL or his meniscus. He's coming back. He's starting to do that. We have TJ talking about fighting, you know, the baddest of the bad. He's already wanting to fight the baddest of the bad come the new year. So you literally have yourself in camp nonstop. You know, you're stuck in this deal. So you might as well just get what you can and get what you're worth, you know, go after these big names, take them out.
Yeah.
I have another question. All right. And this is something. So when I had COVID, all right, I was stuck. The UFC locked me in a hotel, and all I could do was watch TV series. And I went through and watched this TV series. You announced it earlier that I didn't even know about. It came out, 2017, and it was Kingdom. And I saw you were the coach in Kingdom.
Yeah.
All right. I have multiple questions since you've been on it. All right.
Yeah.
First and foremost, who is your least, after watching the series, not talking about during, you know, the filming and everything, I bet you everyone was amazing to work with.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character out of the whole series?
For me, it was Ryan, because we were able to put a lot of my story into his character. And so Ryan, for sure, you know, was one of my fan favorites. You know, I just loved what he represented certain times, and like, you know, the highs and lows you go through as a fighter. I mean, we all experience, you know, you're on top of the world, you get chopped down at the knees, you got to start all back over, you know? And so to see him go through the highs and lows, and his personality, I feel like was very similar to mine. Like sometimes I'm the guy that goes out there and super confident with himself, or sometimes I'm just laid back and super quiet and play out to see, you know, what's going on. So he was definitely one of my favorites.
Ryan, I did like Ryan Wheeler. He was awesome. I would have to go with Jay. Jay was my character. Jay made me laugh so hard. He made me crack up. He was just a party animal. And like, I knew those people in training, like every single person I could relate in that series, because like we had somebody there, you know, that's gone through this, or they reminded you of. So Jay was mine. Jay was hilarious. Who was your least favorite character of the whole series?
Chapo, the Mark Consuelos character, was definitely my least favorite character. But those type of people come into your life, you know, and that's what was good to show. Like out of nowhere, you're training, someone hits you up like, "Hey, can I come like hang out with you?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure." And then they end up having you do stupid shit that gets you in trouble. You know, you're like, "Fuck." I wish that guy didn't come into my life at this time, man. Everything was going so great.
Yo, absolutely. I will agree on that one. That they're always there. I mean, especially now, you're more than ever being a champ. You know, I bet you probably have a lot of people coming out the woodworks trying to slide in those DMs or slide in and talk about how you guys once was, you know?
I don't personally, you know, I'm one of 7. And so, you know, growing up you just learn not to take shit personal.
Absolutely. And then are they going to continue this series? Because there's no way they're going to leave it at what happened at the end. I need a season 4. Is there talks on season 4? Tell me this right now.
I hope so, man. I don't know, because I haven't talked to Byron in a while. I hit him up about it, but he hadn't got back to me. So it might mean something's coming up here soon, but I hope so.
You got the belt. You have the power. Do this for all the Kingdom fans. Do this for me. Make a season 4 happen. I need to see what happens.
Need it.
I need to know if Jay gets the UFC. I need to know if Ryan Wheeler gets that money.
Don't tell me.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, you know, because it was the exact time in my life that they incorporated, and that's what was cool. Is like, you got this exact moment in my life happening, and it's being told, and I look back on it, and you're just like, holy shit, it's so inspiring. Like, I need to win this belt because I need the story to go on.
Yeah, well, so, look, we figured it out. You're answering the story for them. They got the plot. They got the whole entire deal. Season 4 come out. All right.
Yeah, Byron, and you know what? There was a season 4 in talks when I was there, and hopefully, I don't mind spilling the beans about it because it's already happened. But So what they wanted to do was they wanted to sell the foreign rights to a bigger network, or they wanted to sell the rights to a bigger network. And
Okay.
DirecTV was like, hell no, man. Like, we're making a killing right now. Like, it's doing super well overseas. Like they're like, yeah, but we can make it so much bigger. And they're like, no, we're not selling it. It's already a big show. Like, shut up and run the season 4. And so sure enough, things got held off and politics got involved, and they're like, fine, fuck it, we're ending the show. And so it got ended, and then all the money was gone, and they were like, hey, pack your shit, we're gone. And I was like, and this was just getting good. Like, you know, LV just beat Matt Hughes for a world title, you know, like what the hell was going to happen next?
Oh, absolutely. Look, this is the thing, man. We have Netflix now. You know what I mean? Netflix is looking to air their own stuff. Let's write a letter. Let's tag Netflix in this. We need you guys to have season 4, season 5. You know, oh my gosh, dude. I'm like, I need to know the answers, because what happened to so-and-so at the very end, that hip toss was sick, by the way.
Yeah.
I was so shocked on that hip toss. And then what happened right after, my emotions went from that was nasty to, you know, like,
yeah,
it hit me right here. It hit me.
Yeah.
We can't tell because Kendra, I've been telling her to see it, but she hasn't.
Oh, she hasn't watched it?
I have not. I started
all of it,
and I have just, it's been, the homeschooling's killing me, Smalls. Like, it's
for sure
right now. Like, just shit's getting crazy. So, but yeah, so I am going to start tonight, and Professor X better be on board over here.
Eat an edible and then start the show.
I gave 4, and then I gave another 4 today. I did because someone needed them more than I did.
Yeah.
But awesome. So I mean, I feel like we've taken up quite a bit of time. And do you have anything else to chat about, Julian? I mean, I know it's
we could talk all day. We'll just do like a 24-hour skit of like just Beauty and the Beast. What else are we going to talk about? Let's
go. Man, I got my fan questions out of the way. I need to know that Kingdom stuff. I'm telling you, that's like one of the coolest MMA based TV series. Like, it's a male drama. It gets you in, and then the characters, if you're an MMA fighter, the characters are so spot on. They are legitimately like, you can look over and be like, oh, that's so-and-so at our gym, or oh man, that's this person that we kicked out of the gym. You know?
Yeah.
Oh buddy, the one I hated the most was the guy that kept bringing in the protein, like kept trying to switch the protein out. What was
Dom. Am I drawing a blank?
Dom.
Yeah, it was Dom. His Kirk Acevedo is his actual name. Kirk, but yeah, he plays Dom. But dude, he played it to the T of like one of those guys that were just a fucking idiot in the gym. You're like, dude, get this damn guy out of here, dude.
Dude, the whole entire time, every time you see him, you want it off the screen. But it was amazing because he was to a T. Every character was perfect. Every character was drawn out. Like, literally, your focus was always on Ryan and Jay, and it was back and forth on Ryan and Jay. And then you kind of forgot the other brother, Nick Jonas. And like, Nate. And then Nate would come in, and then you would be like, cool. And then something happened to Nate, and you're like, I don't really care about him. And you're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, when all this stuff breaks down, you're just like, you're emotionally invested, and it hurt me.
Oh, dude. I give props to those actors, because those dudes know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. It's insane. And like, you know, a little bit of a background story on them is like, they really learned jiu-jitsu. Like, they spent their time doing boxing, kickboxing. Like, they fell in love with the sport, you know, and they were like, I want to know this more. Like, Elvie was like, you see him around the set, he's over there shadow boxing, slipping, and like, you know how sometimes, like, before we walk out of our garage and say like the things right there, and you're hitting it a little bit, like the little garage hanger thing, and so you'll just like mess with it a little bit. Like, that was the type of person he would be. He would be like, see a little line, you'll like start doing some head movement on it, like pretending to tap it. You're like, damn, that's crazy. They're selling out.
Bro, but they have to. I mean, to be an actor, I mean, I can only imagine you have to give everything you have into it. You have to invest your time and invest your life. And that's literally what any fighter does. Like, you'll walk in there, if you get that feeling, you know, that feeling like you just thought of some like sick move that you want to hit in practice, and you're like, oh yeah, like, or you just got done feeling yourself like a good practice. You're like, you go to leave, you kind of shadow box yourself. You're like, oh
yeah.
Wow, that's sick. Oh man,
I was we were at the pumpkin patch and I seen Kendra out there shadow boxing and like throwing a high kick. I was like, oh okay, like check her out. She's over there shadow boxing and shit, pretending and yeah, she was holding the belt earlier that day. And she was like, oh yeah, check this out. I look over, she's over in the haunted house, like shadow boxing and shit. I was like, oh shit. It was either that or she was really scared. It was one or the other.
Don't believe that shit.
She's squaring up with Pumpkin. She's over there trying to beat up
With the
Hulk.
little kids, like little kids are picking on my youngest son. She's all shoving him down, like mushing him in the face, like throwing a high kick over the head. I was like, geez, dude.
I cannot kick, but I can't promise it's gonna land.
That's hilarious. Pumpkin patches, man. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, we have taken up a lot of time for you, man. I don't know, and I appreciate you coming on here. Kendra, do you have any questions to wrap up?
I mean, I have a ton, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot going on and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to take up too much of his time. I guess
it's all good. Let's run it.
I had like a couple questions that I wanted to ask. And this is a goofy question. And it's out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I like to eat. I'm really hungry right now. And I want a sandwich. So if there was a sandwich named after you, what would it be called and what would be on it?
Well, for sure, they would have to be chips on there. I'm a huge chip fiend. So some type of potato chips to make it crunchy. Yeah. I would think like a steak because I love steaks.
Which you left a couple here at the house. Yeah, or you left some meat at the house.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely some delicious steaks, like some grass fed, something like chopped up. Oh man, some coleslaw would be bomb on there too.
I like it.
Oh man, okay. Yeah.
What kind of bread though for pickles. Your sandwich?
I would do like a jalapeno bagel and cheese bread. I think that would be bomb. I would do like if I had to do it, let's do a burger because I love burgers, right? So that was like a sandwich.
This is a sandwich, dog. I'm cutting weight over here, and I'm like, oh my god.
I know. So I put myself through that. My wife hates when I do this because I'll be cutting weight and I'll turn on the Food Network and I'm like, oh look at this. This is what we're gonna eat afterwards. And I'm just like a sick, demented person when I'm cutting weight. I'm always thinking about food. But so if I had the perfect hamburger or cheeseburger, I would get Texas toast. And I would make a grilled cheese out of it. And then I would use that as the buns. Then I would get like a brisket and Wagyu beef, and I would do 50-50. Probably a little bit of like sausage, like a chorizo, and mix it in for the patties. And I'll do like a bacon cheeseburger in between that with like, peppers and like guacamole. And I think that would just set off
oh my God.
the perfect burger.
Have you ever seen the thing on YouTube called Epic Mealtime?
No.
No, I haven't.
If you watch like Epic Mealtime, they come up with literally what you're explaining, like different types, but they make it to the max. And these people would literally grab like, okay, so they're gonna cook a turkey, so they'll grab a turkey and then first they'll grab a quail and they'll wrap the quail in bacon and then they'll stuff it inside the turkey and then wrap the turkey in bacon and then they'll stuff it inside of a pig. And then they'll wrap the pig inside of bacon and put cheese whiz all over, and then put something else, and then they'll stitch they'll like literally stuff everything in, and then they'll close the pig up, stitch the pig up, and they'll wrap the pig in bacon.
Bury it.
Oh yeah, and then I just when they're done cooking it, this is like just ridiculous meal. It looks so delicious. Like I'm all about it. And that's what
I love food.
In my head when you were talking about your burger.
So let's say like Julian and Kendra, are you guys more of like a sandwich, a burger, burrito, or taco person? Like which one would you have to do?
Oh man, that's a really good question. This is the thing, man. Anything that has steak in it, I'm all down. So like we can make tacos, we can chop it up and throw it in there. Burritos, we can do steak burrito. We can make, you just created a steak sandwich, so I'm good with it. But I don't know, man. I would go burger if I had to go through it.
Burger.
But it's tough with tacos, bro. If you go to California and you go to those food trucks, you get the al pastor tacos, bro. I'm done. I could live off that.
Dude. Oh my God. How about you, Kendra? What would you say? What would you go
burgers. I love burgers. Since you introduced the Wagyu burgers with the meat butchers,
that's
like
so good.
It's delicious. I love a burger. And I like a fried, I know it's so weird, like an egg on it. I don't know.
That's bomb.
Cheese.
Just
Oh,
the yolk dripping off of it.
and I like coleslaw too on my burger.
Yeah,
So
coleslaw is good.
mix it up, but I do like steak too. So, but no, I'm a burger chick all the way. So
yeah. So next time you guys are out in California, I'm gonna make you my special burrito. It's like, oh, it's off the hook. It's what I do is I get the biggest tortillas I can find, and they're usually pretty big, and I make a quesadilla out of it, and I'll chop up some like carne asada, or depending what I'm gonna put in. So say like if I'm putting carne asada in, then I'm gonna do chorizo, and I'll make that as the quesadilla. But the thing's so big that it's also the tortilla to roll the burrito up. And I make California burritos, and bro, they are so fire. So what's in a California burrito is like fries, steak. I've added in a little chicken asada, guacamole, pico de gallo, and just like all the works, dude. Man, it's just like an orgasm in your mouth.
Right there.
I say that.
Yeah.
I say that.
How big is this thing? This is because those.
It's massive.
Oh man, you got like a 5-pound burrito.
It can be, yeah, depending how big I found the tortillas. Sometimes it's smaller, but we started doing this in Purdue. Like during summers, we would have like rib offs, burrito offs, tacos offs, burgers, and we just find a reason to be like, well, let's do a competition. Mine's gonna be better than yours, right? So everyone cooks, and everyone's just like, damn, dude, that was bomb. Like, one of my buddies made pheasant, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But dude, it was the best like chicken or like any type of chicken, like bird food that I've or bird meat that I've had was pheasant. And I'm a believer in pheasant now.
Oh, dude, I'm all about it too, man. Anything legal that you can chop up, kill, and cook, I'm with it. I'm a meat eater to die. But pheasant, bro, at Purdue, and if you know how to cook it,
he did. He did, bro. It was so good.
I think we need to do a Beauty and the Beast like cook off where we all meet up and just, when we're not having to cut weight for fights or anything, just have just a ridiculous dish. Each one has to make it. It could be steak, could be a burrito, could be a burger.
Yeah.
And we just go to town.
Bro, I just took out these beef ribs right now because it was my friend's birthday. My grandma passed yesterday too, so I'm gonna make her like barbecue and like memory of her. But she lived a long and grateful life, so we're all thankful for it. So we're just like celebration. You celebrate the life. You don't be worried about the death. You just celebrate the life. That's how we always dealt with death. Celebrating the life. So we make like a meal that reminds us of them. But so we're gonna make a barbecue sauce. But I just took out the amazing beef ribs. I'm about to smash on. Have you ever heard of a sous vide?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna smoke it for 4 hours. And then it's gonna have that smoke flavor in it. I'm not gonna put any season on it because it's gonna trap that smoke flavor in there. And I'll smoke it for 4 hours first, or probably like 3 hours so it doesn't cook too much. And then I'll sous vide it for 24 hours. Then I'll do the last 5 hours finish on the Traeger. And dude, it's gonna come out amazing. I can't wait. I hope it comes out amazing.
What are you smoking in though?
I smoke it in the Traeger. I have a Traeger. Yeah. Dude, Traeger is awesome.
Is it like a smoker? No.
Yeah. So it's like a pellet smoker. It's like one of the first of its kind. It was like making smoking easy for like it's like smoking for dummies, right? Like the book, English for dummies, Spanish for dummies. That's pretty much what this barbecue is, like smoking for dummies, like easy, could be used by anyone. And then sure enough, I mean, I bought mine like back in 2016, and dude, it was the best purchase I've ever had, and I've had one ever since.
Oh man, I have a Pit Boss, and it's the same setup.
Everything. Yeah.
Those things are amazing. Honestly, literally what keeps me happy through camp when I have to diet is I'll smoke my chicken, and even though I put it in the refrigerator and eat it 2 days later, it still maintains all the juices. Where if you grill it, you come up with that rubbery taste, or it's just too dry. The smoker's the best way to go. And if you do, it doesn't matter. Get a Pit Boss, get a Traeger, smoke the meat. And I'm so jealous you're about to sous vide this stuff. Like,
So I watched this guy. His name, if you look on YouTube and you like watching like food stuff, especially when you're cutting weight, you're like, what am I gonna make after I'm done with this fight? Look up a guy that's called Sous Vide Everything, and he gave me this idea because first I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sous vide it and then I'll cook it on the Traeger next. But he was like, no, what you do with the brisket is you smoke it first, and then you put it in the sous vide, and it'll trap all the smoke in there, and then it'll cook for the next 32 hours. And so I did that, and man, but the guy that owns olive fed beef or just olive fed animals, I found him on Instagram, and I was telling him what I was doing, and he was like, if I could recommend something, don't put any season on it. He's like, just smoke it and then throw it in the sous vide, because if you put like salt in it, it'll pull out all the moisture. I was like, all right, like I'll try it. And I did, and dude, it kept all the moisture when I sous vide it. I was like, dude, you're a genius.
God. Look, yeah. I need to bring you out here to Kansas City so we have 7 different types of grills at the house. And we have smoker, we have an in-ground smoker. We need to have a party. You already got me all sitting here thinking. I heard you guys talking about making tomahawk steaks. I'm over here just I'm salivating.
Having the meat sweats already.
Yeah, dude. It's delicious. Please take some photos for us. I need to see this stuff. I need to see your product, man. That's
I will.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I need to do more of that for my fans. Like show them, like when it's not season, how fat I could get.
Show them your personality. Show them how to cook. Show them exactly what to do. I mean, dude. I'm now gonna look at this guy. What is his name? All time sous vide.
Yeah, sous vide everything. Yeah, sous vide everything. The guy's a genius. Yeah,
I'm gonna lock it up. I'm gonna look at it because, again, we cook everything and all these different types of styles. We cooked steak today. I couldn't eat it. We had tomahawk this weekend, and then we're doing a brisket this coming weekend. And man,
so if I could give you like a word of advice because like I'm the same type of person. Like I need homemade food. Like I need something that I'm normally eating to make me not feel like I'm on diet. So that's where I switch into elk meat, like game meat, because you could have 4 ounces of beef, or you could have 8 ounces of game meat, and it's like the same amount of calories, right? So instead of like starving yourself, you're like, okay, how can I do this diet and those are like the little things like that you see as an athlete, or that my wife has educated herself on. Like, okay, like I know my husband's hungry. If I just give him a little bit of portion, to him, it's going to look like he's on a diet, and it's going to play mind games with you, right? Because, everyone knows that, mind games are the worst as a fighter. So when you always think that you're eating a lot, when there's like, say, instead of regular rice where you could only have like 3 ounces, or 2 ounces of regular rice, she does cauliflower rice where I'm able to have like 10 ounces. And it's like, damn, this is a big meal. Are you sure I could eat all this? She's like, yeah, it's only like 50 calories. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that, So it's just like little tricks like that, like, or finding little substitutes where like, and the game meat is just as clean as anything you could get, like buffalo, elk, deer, venison, like that's actually tastes better, sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, I was using Trifecta for a little bit, and they would send us the meat. But the thing is, with Trifecta, they would keep the meat like cooked. Like they'll cook it to like a medium rare or rare. Yeah. So then when they send it to you in that vacuum seal and you try to cook it again, I want my meat medium rare, So when I cook it, it's like medium, or it's almost medium well.
Almost medium well, yeah.
And it's like super rubbery, and I don't like it. Where do you get your game meat? Or where could we get game meat if we're not in California? Take it off.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually went for my first hunt. After my title fight. And dude, it was the craziest experience I've ever experienced in my life. I think I showed Professor X, or I don't know if I showed you, Kendra, the video of me trying to hunt an elk. But dude, these things are fucking massive, dude. I was like, okay, like TJ was like, bro, when you see this thing, you're gonna be shaking, like be ready, And then I was like, oh no, there's sorry, someone's calling me. I was like, dude, there's no way. Like I just had a title fight. There's no way. And then dude, this thing came bugling at me like right around the corner. I was like, holy fuck, I still didn't see it. And when I seen it in person, this thing was a dinosaur, bro. I was like, fuck. And I was all like, how my hand was shaking, like barely pulling the bow back. I go to shoot it. It hits the tree and dives right at its feet. I was like, no. And then like, fuck, dude, I missed it. And like, only opportunity I had to try to kill the thing, it was like over a ton, and I was just like, biggest elk I've ever seen in my life, dude. I was like, fuck, dude. But props to the people that hunt and actually able to kill their meat, dude, because that's a fucking challenge, dude. Like, talk about going to the grocery store and like going to slaughterhouses. They have, they have all this meat done for you already, and you're like, oh, like I'm gonna just buy my meat, and you're like numb to what's actually going on. But when you're actually trying to kill your own food, like props to those dudes, dude, because it's work trying to, and people that live in nature, like it's work trying to feed your family. It's not easy.
Oh no,
Naked and afraid, right? That's what makes me
Yeah.
like, and you're low on calories and delirious. I would just tap the fuck out. There's just no way. Like,
Yeah.
I am not making it a day there. Let's be real. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hunting
Yeah.
elk would be
Yeah.
intense. I would listen to Cameron Haynes and Joe Rogan kind of talk about whenever their first experience, Joe's first experience going with Cameron, because he goes on foot hunting for every type of animal, and he believes he has to be in the fittest shape. So he was talking about that they went up on like this mountaintop with, Joe, and Joe said he got up there and he said there were 9 male elk. And he said it was the most intense feeling he's ever gone through in any of his hunts, where he just sat there and looked at these these over a ton looking like giant creatures that are screaming.
Yeah.
Just, what is it? Yodeling? What is the noise?
Bugling.
Yeah.
Bugling. So yeah, it's like, woo! You're just like, damn, dude. But it's for like 3 seconds. Like, and you're just like, damn, dude, this is insane.
It's powerful, and it's like I couldn't even imagine hearing that in person. Like that sound would screech right to you, and it would hit you in the face to where you could feel it in your soul, and it's scary.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be intense.
Dude, that's what happened, dude. It hit me in my soul. And then when it came around the corner, it looked directly into my soul. So I was like, I can't see it. And then it turned the corner and it looked dead at me. And I was like stuck. I was like, oh shit, like this is real. Like this thing can charge me right now, And I was like, all right, fuck it, here we go.
Like, what would you have done if this giant thing came at you?
Try to play Ring Around the Rosie around the tree or something, bro. Because I would have been using the tree like, and like just trying to pull back arrows and shoot. Because that's the thing, I wasn't hunting with a gun. I was hunting with a bow, dude. So, oh my God. Yeah. So you're just like, and the crazy thing was, I was at a 30-yard shot, and it was still walking to me. Like I should have just been patient and let it walk a little bit closer. It would have been within 10 yards of me, and I could have just shot the thing.
Yeah, but you can Monday morning
within 10 yards
all the time. But in that moment, in that feeling right there, where you're sitting there shaking, like, that's crazy.
And that was the thing. I wanted to make sure I had a shot off, because like I went hunting out there actually before, because that was my first time I hunted elk. I went hunting for a bear, and I've seen a bear, a beautiful blonde bear, but I never got the shot off, and I was kicking myself for a year, dude. Like, if I have a fucking opportunity this time, I'm just gonna let it fly, dude. And I did. So I can't like, be mad about myself, because I actually got 2 shots off. I shot another one because after it took off running, after I shot the first time, it took off running. It was 70 yards. I pulled back and I shot again, and it fell at his feet again. But that time I like hurry. I didn't let the bow go all the way, or the arrow go all the way through the bow. I kind of like looked down, and it kind of dropped the arrow. So I was like, damn it, man. That's crazy, dude.
It's still that experience that you have, that you're able to, like, now the next time you're going to go, you'll probably have a cleaner shot, a more, anticipated shot, because of the experience you had prior. But hunting elk with a bow, that's no joke, on foot. Who did you go with?
Yeah. So I'm part Apache. So I went with I linked up with these Apaches on a Apache reservation, and I went with them, dude. And they talk about knowing the land. Like, when people are like, I know this land like the back of my hand. You're like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, no, you don't. There's no way you can know all this land like the back of your hand. And dude, they knew exactly where we were at every time. Like, hey, there's gonna once we get over this hill, this drainage right here, there's gonna be another drainage. There'll be a pool right there, and you'll see all the bedding of the elk. And you get there and you see everything they just told you about, and you're like, geez, dude. Like, they and at first, like, you're hunting, right? Because like I'm used to living in the city. You start like, you're looking for trying to see wildlife, and like, oh, it's right there. You see it. And you're like, yeah. You're just playing it off. You're like, yeah, it's right there. I see it. And you're like getting the binoculars, trying to look. You're like, fuck, man, I can't see shit. And then they're like making cow calls. They're like, brr, brr. And then they hear them do their bugle back. And they're like, oh yeah, did you hear that? They're like, and you're like, yeah, it was that way, right? And they're like, no, it was that way. I thought. You're like, oh yeah, you're right, it's that way. It must have been the wind pushing. They're like, you're like trying to play it off, because us, we don't want to be like,
Like
like
dumbasses.
yeah, like a dumbass. Like they're looking at you like this fucking guy is a city slicker. But you played off. But by the 15 days I was out there, I was able to spot them. I was able to listen, and like your senses come about. You don't really know how much you don't use your senses when you're in the city until you get out into nature. You're like, where's this wind coming from? Like, which way is the wind blowing? Where are the elk right now? What do they do during the day? You're smelling the smell, everything, dude. All your senses heighten like crazy, insane.
That's crazy. It's almost like, that's like a dying art. Most people today, nowadays, they can't get anywhere without a GPS. They can't sit there and remember what they were just at and
Yeah.
how to get back to their own home, after driving somewhere else. Like they don't remember the route they took. They have to always look down at their phone and look something like, that's insane to be able to walk through the forest or the woods or just anywhere and be able to know exactly where you're at, know which way is north at all times, day and night, know exactly the flow of everything, how to stay downwind of animals, how to, find your way around the woods and survive. Like that's sooner or later, someone's going to come up with like a survivalist school where they teach you all that, kind of like adult kid or adult, like
Like,
Cub Scouts. But man, that's
yeah,
a true way to hunt if you
yeah,
are going out there not using any type of, technology, just using it all by
yeah,
the land and the people and the way
yeah,
they know.
yeah. It was cool, man. It was dive in. I went to Spain, at that heritage, kind of seeing who I am, and then you visit the other side, like me, and you're like, dude, this is, and you act the exact same. Like this is insane.
Yeah. So you're part Spaniard and part Apache, you said.
Yeah, which is basically in turn Mexican, because when the Spanish came over and mated with the natives, they were Indians, and you became Mexican. A lot of Mexico people from Mexico and stuff have huge Spanish bloodlines and native bloodline in them. So that's pretty much what I am.
Man, that's awesome, dude. And you're diving into
Yeah,
your heritage, man. You're going on
yeah,
both sides. You're showing that you're a true warrior and you're also hunting for your own food, getting the best elk,
yeah.
have an
Oh yeah,
amazing family. I mean,
yeah.
you're living the
Thank
dream
you.
life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, most people wish they could have half of what you have, and it's like
yeah,
you've got it. You're using it, and
yeah,
you're doing it for good. You're motivating people.
yeah,
You're showing people.
yeah,
You're being an awesome dude. And I'm pumped
yeah.
that we got you as our first guest ever on the Beauty and the
Yeah.
Beast podcast. And
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Juan.
yeah, for
Definitely
sure.
a role model for kids,
Yeah, yeah.
for other fighters, just people in general.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
everyone's a role model. You could always pick something apart from someone that's gonna change your life in a good way. You've changed my life big time, Kendra, on a lot of things we've talked about, my perspective on things, and so have you, Julian. Like I met you playing Top Golf, and it was just like, man, this guy's cool as fuck. Like you don't have to be an asshole to be a UFC star. You could be cool, down to earth, have a different job, still be a people person. Like that's who you were when I met you. I was like, dude, this dude's cool as shit. Like at the time I was just starting to MMA when I met you, and it was just like, wow, dude, like this guy is awesome. So
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And I think it's MMA's taught us how to just adapt to the world because you can learn anything from a white belt. You know what I mean? They teach you something just as a black belt would. There's always someone that has a different style, and it's cool, man. And it's awesome hearing your
yeah,
story and
dude,
seeing all the cool things that you've done and accomplished. And it's
I appreciate
motivating.
it. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. We all motivate each other.
Let's go.
So, yeah,
All
hell yeah.
right.
I'm excited for your fight. So your fight's coming up in what? How many weeks we got left on your fight camp?
4 weeks, man. November
4 weeks,
14th,
dude.
man. We're
And
28 months has it been since I stepped back in, and I'm so ready.
and you're right there getting ready to step in, dude. That's what people don't understand. Like I was so ready to get ready to fight, and then it's taken away from you, pushed back. And you start questioning, like, dude, what the fuck? Well, at least I have a longer camp, and you're just like, well, you know what? It makes me that much like eager to fight. I'm sure, because that's what happened to me.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like I literally don't like, I like the fact that we had a longer camp, but I was telling Kendra at the beginning of this, like, you can speak for it too, man. It's like, you're just ready. You know what I mean? You were ready. You were ready fucking 8 weeks ago. And now you have 4 weeks left, and it feels like time is going by seconds. Like seconds are minutes, minutes are hours, hours are weeks, you know, and you're just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, man.
And then you get there fight week, and then everything happens all at once. You're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, what just happened? You're already booking your next fight. You're like, what just? Yeah, I'm ready for it though, man. I like. This is who I am. This is where I want to be. I love this stuff. I love seeing it, and it just like watching everyone succeed on the platform, like seeing you win your title, and seeing, you know, when I met you, 4 or 5 years ago, and then seeing the same thing, Tim Elliott. Already getting another fight coming up, seeing TJ's coming back, seeing Kevin Kroom get the victory, seeing Corey Sandhagen hit the craziest spinning back kick to get, like, everything's changing up. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I actually have one last question before we let you go.
Let's do it. Yeah, I know, right?
Brian Ortega.
Ooh.
Or the Korean Zombie. This is a tough one. We had this conversation. I'm gonna let you go. Do it.
Yeah. So the thing with Brian, you know, he was ready for this fight. He was ready. We had a guy that was training with us, and I was gone this week because I had something come up, and I was supposed to train with them that day. And they were like, "Oh, no worries, we have another training partner." Well, this guy ends up fucking getting a single leg, and you know what a treetop is, right? Like, so for people who don't know what it's called or know the name of a treetop, it's you take a single leg shot. And what you do is very carefully, you never do it crazy or real time when you're actually doing that to a teammate, because you could hurt them. Hence, that's why I got hurt. But he went to treetop him, where you take your leg and you pull it over the head. But the guy did it so fast, and Brian wasn't ready for it, and the guy just yanked it. And he was like a 210-pound guy, and so just yanked his leg, and he kind of like got nervous. I was like, whoa, and just like boom, jacked his knee up, dude. So that like prolonged it. He had to pull out the fight, and everyone's like, "Oh, you fucking pussy, da da da." So the insulting and shit that goes on social media goes. So he's like, "All right, like whatever. I'm gonna buy my time. I'll get my knee ready, and then I'll be ready to go." Well, during that time, you know, Korean had said some shit, and it fired him up more. So I don't think he's ever been more ready for a fight now, like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like he's ready to go, and I see first round submission by my man T City, you know, which is crazy because I used to train with. I'm a diehard Cub fan, you know, and at that time Brian and Cub had fought, and there was still some beef afterwards. But you know, my personality, you know, I kind of was able to make amends with both of them and get them training together, so they were able to train together for this fight camp as well. Cub had some good input for him, and similar to a Korean Zombie style. So you know, I'm fucking ecstatic for this guy to go out there and lay it on the line.
Man, this fight is supposed to happen multiple times. So they've been training for each other for a long period of time. And this is the thing, like, I don't know. You only know someone off their last performance, and you can only base it off their last performance. And his last performance was against Max Holloway. And you're sitting there looking like, man, like, so is he gonna submit out Korean Zombie? Korean Zombie's gonna sit there and throw like crazy. So you're going back and forth. And the only thing that puts out, you know, the possibility of the unknown is, what is Korean Zombie's ground game like? That's what you sit there and look at it like, because you're not knocking out Brian Ortega. And if you can't submit Korean Zombie, this is about to be the fight of the year. Literally, I think it's going to be the fight of the year, of how much anticipation, how much, you know, want of the fans that want to see this, and how much they both kind of get to show their style. Because the last time we saw a Korean Zombie fight was when he got that ridiculous elbow when he was beating Yair and caught with that elbow. The last time we saw the Zombie fight. So it's like, this fight's they both have been generated so much since then. It's like,
dude, I know.
An evolution. What is going on? Like,
damn. Yeah, dude.
You see, like, this fight is about to be real. I love
that. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, it's intense, but I'm going with Ortega. I have to get up for a second because I have something really cool that fans are gonna like.
Hell yeah.
What is she gonna do? She's grabbing a belt.
So this came So Juan, okay.
Oh man! Of course, the day after I leave.
I know. I was like, this was supposed to come Saturday, and it showed up. Okay, late, but hey. So
wait a minute,
Hell
is
yeah,
that your
badass.
belt, or is that you can buy that belt?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
That's
You know,
amazing.
And this DHL guy is kind of pissing me off that delivered it. You know, he delivered something in my name. It said Kendra because they addressed it to the wrong. It's supposed to be my real name. Anyway, so he wants me to sign for everything now. So I said, no, I'm not here. Leave it at the door. I was not happy. Little pervert.
Yeah,
But anyway, it showed up.
Dude,
that's cool.
Tell me this. Man, I'm like so geeked out.
Yeah.
How amazing is Kendra's she cave, her man cave, her little party deal? She just has a Bellator belt up now. And what else?
Yeah. WWE's, UFC belts. They need to get the Strike Force belt and a couple other things up in there too.
Oh my gosh, man. That's like literally the best party cave right there.
Oh, dude, they have like some Michael Jordan stuff up there too, and dude, it's badass. Like in California, this is our basement. In California is our garage, but you know, in the Midwest, you guys actually get to have basements. We can't because of earthquakes and shit like that. The whole house would collapse on you.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to do something or bring Julian out and I'll hang out sometime. But anyway,
cooking steaks with Wagyu.
Hell yeah.
Let's
go.
We
gotta get Traeger. Where's Traeger? At Traeger, we gotta get Kendra a Traeger so she knows what they are.
Absolutely.
So,
she doesn't know how to cook it.
Taking notes.
Yeah, we're gonna get one sent out.
We want to thank you so much, Juan, for hanging out with us today. Again, so grateful for you and so happy for you and your belt.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Dude, we gotta have after Julian's fight, and then hopefully I'm not in too crazy of a fight camp. Just have like a huge party and watch fights and just put it on the podcast.
Let's go. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
I'm down to go to California after the fights. Or after
dude, you should. You guys both should. I'm telling you, right next to Disneyland. If Disneyland's not open, we just go to the beach.
We're trying to go to the beach. We're trying to make burritos. We're trying to have steak. We're trying to have a live podcast.
Let's go. Burritos.
We're all in.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Hey, we'll run the podcast in there. This is a 3-man.
In the sauna?
I love it. That's awesome.
We'll just do it in the sauna while we're eating. That way we can eat more. Yeah.
I'm trying to create space. What do you I gotta make more room. Yeah, I'm dying.
Hell yeah.
You gain 10 pounds but lose 20.
Hell yeah. That'll be dope. Hell yeah. Well, right on. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate your guys' time.
And fans can follow your Instagram is
JArchMMA. So it's basically my first name and last name, but abbreviated. So, and then MMA because I'm an MMA fighter. If you didn't know.
Let's go. You're not just an MMA fighter. You're a champion.
World champ now.
Hell yeah. All right, Juan. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, guys.
All the fans hanging out with us at Beauty and the Beast podcast. Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Oh, yeah, guys.